What's up, everybody? It's LG Doucette here. We have a very special midweek edition of the podcast today. We are interviewing Jim Daily, the head of Links DAO, which is a golf DAO built in Web3 that launched during the bull market, but is actually thriving right now during the bear market. Basically, it's a golf membership that's tied together through Web3, where you get a bunch of different benefits, discounts for big golf brands, but also where you get access to certain golf courses that they purchase over time, including a purchase that they have already made, Spey Bay Golf Course in Scotland, which they bought for just over or just under, I think, $1 million or €1 million a few months back. So it's a DAO that has actually fulfilled its big promises and its, kind of world-changing prophecies. It's actually doing that, and it has a thriving community going on right now. So we interviewed Jim. We talked to him basically about, personally, whether he's a good golfer, why golf has grown so much recently, what the current vibe is in the sport of golf, what Links DAO is, and honestly, how they're kind of managing the project day to day these days, and what the future holds for such a unique and thriving idea, let's say. Also, a quick note on golf. It is one of the fastest growing sports right now, and a lot of that is due to some new ideas. If you know what Top Golf is, it's basically this Chuck E. Cheese for adults that has to do with golf. And apparently, of all new golfers that are joining the sport, which is, again, it's growing incredibly fast, 10% of them started playing at Top Golf. Like, they went with friends to Top Golf, hit a couple shots, and then decided, hey, you know what, I'm going to be a golfer. So if you have the means, or you have some courses near you or whatever, it may be a good time to get into golf right as the summer starts, and maybe an even better idea to take a look at Links DAO. Not an endorsement. I do think it's cool. I'm not a member yet. I'm looking at it, but wanted to know a lot more through a podcast about what that's all about. So hope you enjoy my interview with Jim Daly from Links DAO.
Your search is over, now welcome to First Mint. Looking for NFT content, look no further, cause this is it. From Top Shot to blockchain, they got the data chops, analysis, and backdrops that shows equator hot. LG and Phil D, the best amongst others. Best brothers that happen to ball since the Ball Brothers. So settle in, cause it's time for the best show. Ayo Quad, who we reppin'? First Mint. Let's go.
All right, folks, we're on with Jim Daly from Links DAO. Jim, first question right off the bat: when is the last time you were on the golf course? When's the last swing you took?
I was on the golf course yesterday. We did a member event, so it's called the Link Signature event. So we basically get like top 100 private, very exclusive golf courses and get our members access to them. So I played Hudson National yesterday in the Hudson Valley, New York. Great place. Played with a few Links members, played pretty well, had a couple drinks, a lot of laughs, and kind of talked about the future of golf and NFTs. So the last swing I took was a tap in bogey because I missed a 12-foot par putt. So probably not the most inspirational one, but I played pretty well. And like I said, had a few drinks, and yeah, smiles were donned by all.
Are you good? Are you a good golfer? I feel like every golfer I talk to is like, no, I'm terrible. But I mean, that's kind of what golf is. It's a challenging sport. Are you decent? Like, how would you evaluate your own golf game?
I would say, yeah, people say they're terrible at golf because the mechanism of golf and the rules of golf are like par for 99.9% of people that ever pick up a golf course means average, and average is impossible to attain. So kind of, you're behind the eight ball, man, from the first day you pick it up until the last day you put it down. So I would say that I'm like golf obsessed for sure. And I could go low sometimes I feel like I have the game that I could put it together, but I also have the ability to go very high. So yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm great, but I'm somebody that if I could play every day, I definitely would.
Do you have like a legendary round that you had once? Like just one day where you were feeling it, the wind was right, the temperature's right, you got one beer you drank and it was just enough. Like, is there such a thing like that for you? Like the one holy grail time that you've been dying to recreate that feeling or that moment?
Yeah, last year I touched base kind of in the middle of the afternoon. It's on Friday with my buddy Tom, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, let's go play a little golf. Like later on, we'll meet at 4 o'clock, 4:30, something like that. We'll grab some beers. We'll hang out. We'll just play a leisurely round. Probably just play 9." And so meet up. We end up going out at like 5 o'clock. Right, it's getting dark. It was in the summertime, so it's probably getting dark. 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours in the route. And so we sit down at the bar. We grab a beer. We grab another beer to take it out on the course. And I go birdie, birdie, par, birdie. And I was like, dude, we got to pick up the pace because I don't know what's happening, but everything's working. So that was one of those rounds. So every shot was exactly what it needed to be. And every putt was dropping. And I shot a 71. And I've never gotten close to that again.
Nice.
This was anybody watched Caddyshack? I wouldn't have been surprised if the clouds rolled in and I got struck by lightning on this round. So that was definitely the one that I really put it together. The only downside of that is that I don't know how many folks listen to the podcast know about the handicap system, but it basically tells you put in all your scores and it tells you what you should shoot on average based on your last 10 scores. And it gives you a ranking basically, right? This is your skill level. And it put me on a skill level that was so far beyond what my real skill level was that nobody wanted to play in tournaments with me anymore because we would have no chance of winning because my handicap was so low and I would never shoot that again. So it was a double-edged sword, but one that I would gladly recreate any day of the week.
How would you define the current golf community? Because I'll actually, let me tell you a bit of backstory. I just picked up clubs for the first time ever last year, right? It was something where I was like, you know what? I live near some nice golf courses. I should learn. And I just got a $150 set secondhand on Facebook Marketplace, just kind of, some clubs to just kind of putt around with and have fun. And obviously it's really difficult. I've had a few really nice shots that I can remember that are good. But joining the community here, I didn't know what to expect, right? Because like a lot of people, it's I've seen the golf movies. I watch some of the tournaments. I know the big golfers. And then probably the stereotype, I just assume that golfers are a little snooty. But that has not been my experience. I find a lot of golfers are really nice and helpful and welcoming and very diverse as well, right? What is if you had to sum up the current state of the golf, the vibe of golf as a sport, how would you define that?
I would say diversifying. It's when I was a kid growing up, I played golf since I was young. It was exactly what you described. It was it was snooty. It was every shirt was tucked in. Everybody had one of 6 different polos. It was you have to act a certain way. If you break a rule, people get really pissed off. There are still plenty of places that exist that are like that. But what I see now is that there's more new golfers coming into the sport now than there ever has been before. And the biggest growth segments of the game of golf are actually off-course golf, right? This is like Top Golf, or 5-iron golf, right? People playing golf as a fun activity on a Friday night, maybe not on a course, right? But then those people transition to on-course golfers at some point. And they're from all different walks of life, from all different backgrounds. I think the style of golf has changed so much too. Now you see skateboarding style and golf style are they've melded into one. You look at a lot of some of these emerging brands like Amalden Golf as an example, the stuff it's dope and people love it, and it's just again a totally different vibe and more defiant than your very traditional khakis and a polo, which is great. And it's it's growing the game and it's getting a lot of new folks into it. So, and I see this all the time in our community because in our Discord we have 30,000 people, and the majority of them are golfers, right? And we have guys that are or women PhD professors from university in Colorado. We have folks, from Atlanta that are in our local Atlanta chapter that basically just started playing golf, over the last year and a half. And then we have a hedge fund manager in New York. And I was playing golf with a guy yesterday that owns his own ski and snowboard company. And it's they're all over the map and they're interested in different things and they have different styles. And that's why I think now it's the vibe of golf is about emerging golfers and diversity, which is super cool.
Man. That's really nice to hear, and congrats on bringing together that pretty big community. Tell me, for people who might not be familiar with Links DAO, why don't you tell us the story there? And we'd love for you to start even with kind of if you had a red pill moment, like a lot of people have for NFTs or for crypto, and start there, and then dovetail that into how Links DAO got off the ground.
Yeah. I mean, I've been into crypto since about 2013, and I've always found it extremely fascinating. And obviously, there's like, in terms of cryptocurrencies, there's, historically, it's been largely speculative for people, right? So it's like, if you're buying Bitcoin at a price or Ethereum at a price or Doge at a price or whatever coin is your coin, right? If you're buying that at a price, you're hoping to, see it appreciate in value and then sell it, right? So it's like, that's kind of the, historically, when I got into crypto and I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, it's, diversifying asset class really. And then with NFTs, it was really, for me at least, the first time outside of like companies starting to take crypto payments and things like that, that you could use this, use blockchain technology for like a multitude of different things that have like practical applications, which I found endlessly fascinating. And so, the idea of Links, it was born with me and my good buddy Mike Dudas. He's one of my he's one of my best friends on the planet, and we'd worked together like way back in the day in an online audio startup, and we became like fast friends and have been friends ever since. And we wanted to, one, start something together, and two, do it where you could really have not just like not an artistic application, right? Not just a community application, but like real practical utility application for NFT technologies. We want to do it in a place that's like, we absolutely love golf, and also it's super fun and engaging, right? Like this isn't like, if you take a look at some of the other DAOs out there, right? Like you have the Flamingo DAO, right? It's like all about investment, and it's very serious, and it's, they've done extraordinary things, but like it's just fundamentally different. We said, let's start with something fun that people really love doing, like on their time where they're not working. And if you start with fun and you build people that like to spend time together online and offline, like, you build something really special. So anyway, so combine that with kind of taking a look at, what Constitution DAO had done, right? Kind of the power of getting a bunch of people together, with, the desire to be part of a community and a common goal. And then also like what Gary Vee was doing at the time with Flyfish Club, right? So it's like using NFTs as like a membership technology. We said, let's apply that to golf. So that's, Links DAO was born. And it was a wild ride at the beginning. We came up with this concept in the middle of December of 2021, so right at the end of the year. And from the point of ideation of the project to spinning up a Discord to well over 10,000 people in the Discord, to kind of coming up with all the arts, coming up with all the applications, to really just getting a fervent community, people were really excited about it. To mint, it was just 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks, and we said we're gonna create the world's what we would like to be the world's greatest golf and leisure club. We're going to go out. We're going to buy a golf course. We're going to work with the best brands to bring the best benefits to the community. We're going to get unprecedented access to private golf courses. We're going to have an incredible event series that's powered by our community, and we're all going to do this thing like in collaboration. And so people were really pumped up about it. We dropped the NFTs on January 1st. They sold out in less than 48 hours. I think it was less than 4 hours on the public, when the mint was available to the public. And then we generated over 10 million in revenue, to which we then spun up a team, really started doing great business development deals in the world of golf, and we were kind of off to the races, developing what we think now is like the most valuable digital subscription in the game, with this killer community attached to it.
Oh man, I mean, congrats on that success, right? 48 hours sellout is incredible, especially to raise that much. And also those are some good days in the bull market, right? Where you could spin up the concept, and get it out, and there'd be like a huge appetite for it. And I'll say right now, like that, what I like about Links DAO is that right now we're at this point in the bear market where a lot of projects that caught fire in that bull run are struggling to figure out like what exactly it is that they're doing beyond being just an NFT that drives hype, and where you can get some merch or, claim some new derivative or whatever it is. Whereas what I like about you guys is like there is always a clear very clear mission, right? To be this golf community that owns and operates golf courses and does all this other great community building and community ownership. And that's something that, like sports, survives cycles. It doesn't matter if the market is up or down. Like, you guys have such a clear thing that you're trying to do. And if anything, you were successful recently when you bought Spey Bay in Scotland, right?
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit more about that, because that is a pretty big achievement, and I think something that you guys had promised to do or said you were going to do, and perhaps at times of the bear market, I don't know, maybe people were skeptical if that mission was still there, but you guys definitely nailed it. Tell us about that and some of the other achievements you guys have hit along the way.
Yeah, it's funny. People were doubting we were going to do it from even before the mint. And
well, it's not your fault. There were a lot of promises in the bull market, man. There's a lot, and people, I think, were not doing research of who are the people behind these companies. So even though you and Mike are, credible names, guys who are professionals who, definitely felt confident in executing that mission, I think people can be excused for having trouble getting through the noise and also not researching.
Yeah. No, I think it's interesting, and but I don't. When I say that, I don't mean just like the crypto ecosystem, right? I'm not just talking about kind of like Web3 maxis that are really big in NFTs, maybe buying the project, maybe not be. I mean, like, we got super high up in the world of golf, professional golf, and the golf business very fast. I mean, Callaway came on as an equity investor, within, I think it was a little after a month after we minted, right? This is the largest company in golf. And so, we've got a lot of interest, but I think there was also, skepticism in the golf world on, like, are these guys going to be able to pull this off? Now, to your point, Mike and I, we've grown businesses, right? I grew a large ad tech business, over a 10-year period. It was doing 750 million in annual revenue. Mike has, built the block and is kind of a serial entrepreneur and a great investor. And so I think with this project, there's that promise, man, of like, we're going to go out and do this. But from even prior to day one, even prior to the mint, there was absolutely no chance we would not deliver it in our minds. Right. And so, I think that one of the great things about this project is that, it has had that clear mission. And it's really been about just how do we drive as much value as possible to our members, right? To our NFT holders. And if you're laser focused on those two things, like, some really good stuff is going to happen. So I think that, the achievements along the way, we have some great members, like Steph Curry came into the project early, Bill Murray's in the project. We have a lot of professional soccer players out of the European continent that are members too. So we have a really fun membership. We have business development relationships and contracts with over 40 different companies at this stage, right? So I think business development from guys like Callaway, guys like Topgolf, Cobra Puma, Bettinardi, Holderness de Boer, Grayson, Malbin, all these guys are partners with us now and bringing unique value to our community. So I think that's been an extraordinary thing to see. We now have, for our top tier members, free access to over 600 private golf clubs across the globe, which is like really unprecedented. And we have just recently bought one of the only 240 plus true links courses on the planet in the birthplace of golf, Scotland. We've signed, I can't divulge the name yet because we're going to unveil this to our membership first very, very soon. We signed easily one of the top 5 golf course architects on the planet to do a redesign for us. We've signed the grass guy to the stars, like the best ergonomist on the planet. We have a killer management team, and we're basically, we're going to create something unique and special for our community that, the likes have never really been seen before in the golf world. So, we're just, and the project's only a year and a half old. It's just like, I think about it, it's just amazing how much the team has accomplished at this point. It's super cool.
Jim, could somebody do this for a different sport? Or is this, like, in terms of like this quick and this much, I guess, buy-in from, some prominent names, you're able to get the top designer, you're able to buy courses, like all the golf companies are down with it. right? Like, are there any other sports where this would be possible to do if somebody wanted to, or wanted to apply a similar formula, or is this execution like unique to golf?
I think no, I don't think it's unique to golf. I think golf is uniquely positioned to be successful in this strategy, but I think this could be applied to, any multitude of things. And I mean, it could be sports or it could be outside of sports. If there's anything that has a large passionate audience of participants or hobbyists, what we're doing can be applied there, right? And I think one of the novel concepts, one of the really unique things is, it's not like we don't have like Links DAO customers, right? We have Links Golf Club members, and these members also have a say in all aspects of what the project does. Like, I'll use a good example, and I think that this is a major unlock, right? Because a lot of, if we use NFT projects, we're just brands that have a good product and they're selling it to consumers, right? The consumer doesn't get a front seat in that business, into that project, right? And I think what our folks are able to do is have influence over, really what's happening and some of the really meaningful strategic decisions that are being made. And like, so good example is Spey, right? So Spey Bay, we learned about this opportunity, right? We've looked at over 90 golf courses and done diligence on over 90 golf courses at this stage since the Mint, right? We got wind of Spey and we were like, all right, well, this is the first golf course we looked at outside of the United States. But it does seem like an extraordinary, extremely unique opportunity, because it's like, it's just, it's 12 holes on the ocean. You're watching dolphins jump and playing in one of the most stunning places you could possibly imagine in your mind. It's so beautiful, right? It's got this incredible history. So we're like, we should really consider this, right? I did some diligence on it. And then ultimately it was up to community vote. Should we move forward and do, make a compelling bid on this property? Should we try to buy this property, or should we not? Let's put it up to the community, because it's not just, a bunch of people in a boardroom making these decisions. We want to make sure that this is what the community wants. And if they vote no, we're out. We're not doing it, right? We'll just keep we'll keep on searching. So that is something that's fundamentally different about this type of project than what you see in other things. And it ended up being 88% yes votes. By far our biggest vote that, I think we've done 19 or 20 votes at this stage. By far our biggest vote turnout to date, and it was overwhelming yes. So we went ahead and did our best and ultimately got the course.
Why did people vote no? What's the 12%?
I think people voted no for a few different reasons. The biggest one was, folks that are like, I'm not going to travel to Scotland, right? And so, they could live. I mean, we have folks. We estimate now, based on some surveys, we have folks in 40 countries. So if you live in New Zealand, the likelihood is you're going to pop up to the Moray coast of Scotland. Pretty, it's pretty slim.
Damn far.
So and then some folks are like, maybe we don't buy a golf course, or we just focus on golf course access, right? So there's great opinions on a number of different things within our community, and of course, people vote with what they think is going to be kind of best for the project. And obviously almost 9 out of 10 said we should move forward with it, so we did.
Right. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I guess I think in any DAO, no matter how good the idea, very rare to reach 100% approval. So 88% is pretty good. You are dealing with strangers on the internet, so
yes,
you always have a mix of opinions regardless of the proposal. But I do find, this is such a fantastic use of a DAO. You know what I mean? Because like DAO is such a term that's thrown around, in my opinion, of like, you all have tokens and we all vote on these things, but very few I find have like practical applications, right? So this is not only people have a say, but they have the membership. Can you tell us, because I feel like this podcast, maybe a few people are going to want to get in on it. Can you tell us a little bit about the entry points for Links DAO and what they are? There's a few different collections. The main one is just Links DAO on OpenSea or whatever trading site you use. And there's 2 memberships there, Leisure and Global. And then I know you guys also have a PFP collection as well. So maybe tell us a little bit more about those.
Yeah, definitely. So there's 4 different entry points, right? I'll say that we have the PFP. Okay. The PFP that's something that we really did for fun and for our community, because, a lot of our community are Web3 maxis, right? They love to be able to rep the project. And so we wanted to make sure we put together something great for them. And so you can obviously buy the PFP. PFP also has some cool applications we do links gaming now, like PGA, 2K, and we're building out a more robust kind of gaming ecosystem, and that has some cool applications there. But as far as real entry points into the membership, it is the Leisure and Global, right? Which those are the ones that sold out. You can buy them on OpenSea, and these give you access to all of our golf partners, right? So we'd say on average, people get about $700 a year in value out of just the golf partners alone, right? Some people it's 3,000, some people it's 300, right? It just depends on how much you're using it.
Yeah, how much you use. And I'm just going to read off some of the partner benefits so people know. You get a discount, like the stuff that's listed. So you get a discount on playing at top golf locations in the US, member benefits and discounts on gear at Callaway. Looks like you get some similar stuff for Bridgestone. What else we got here? Any other notables out of all the stuff you've got?
Yeah, we have about
you have so many.
We have so many. I know. We have over 10 apparel partners that on average we get 30% off of all their newest gear, which is really meaningful. All of our members get a $200 or $150 gift card to 5-Iron Golf, which is indoor simulators in major cities. That's and they also get 15% off of pretty much everything else. So that's really juicy for our New York City members, right? These guys have simulators. I think they have maybe 25, 30 simulators across the US in big cities. That is super meaningful. The amount of value they get out of that is huge. And then we also have golf course access. So all of our members get access to 150 courses through our partnership with IMG. And then our global members get free access. I should say they get free membership and then pay guest fees at over 650 private clubs, which you just can't access anywhere. This is not a consumer product that's available anywhere else than if you come to Links. And that is pretty priceless. You also get we're doing I think probably last week we were targeting 50, but I think it's been up to about 65 local events across the US and globally this year. So all of our members get access to, our events. And for a lot of folks, we have local chapters that, there might be 60 people meeting up and playing golf and going out for beers afterwards. And it's this has become the golf network for a lot of folks, which is really cool. And we're so focused on community and great vibes. And the fact that people are kind of, now Links has become their golf family is pretty awesome.
I think that's what people want though, right? Is I think that's such a use case for NFTs in general, right? It's we all say that whenever we go to NFT NYC or any other events, or is well, I'm finally with the people that speak my language, right? Because nobody in our normal lives has any idea what we're saying. But also, I think golf is one of those things where it's you can always relate to other golfers, but I think it's even deeper when you can actually meet up with kind of a global club. And I'm sure there are such things as global golf clubs of some sort. But this at least is very unique and also a place where people are very passionate about it, right? And it's very new age, very modern. So I can imagine that's people already really love their online NFT communities, and I can imagine that having a conjoining event, right? There's no if I know other Bored Apes holders in my town, there's nothing for us to go do to celebrate our Bored Apeness, right? Whereas this, it's go play golf together, right? It's so obvious.
Yeah, it's it goes back to some of your original questions. That is one of the things that has made this thing take off so fast, right? There's an activity that everybody loves doing that they can do together, right? And that's kind of the tie that binds. And then the other thing is this is maybe a very non-golf concept, but a very Web3 concept. Like our memberships are permissionless. So this is the golf membership for everybody, right? Like all are welcome. And I think that that's an idea, a concept, and a philosophy that has really resonated with a lot of folks.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, I have two personal questions for you about not personal about you, personal about me. One is, what do any of these perks benefits offer anything for Canadian golf courses or stores or companies or anything? I'm in Canada.
Yes. So almost all of our benefits are available to Canadians.
Okay.
And there are IMG golf courses up in Canada too. So yes and yes.
Okay, great. And do any of these help you get like some discounts on lessons or anything like that?
Yeah, so we have a partnership with Golf Digest, schools, right? So it's basically like this really immersive series of like lessons, which I think, again, this is great for golfers of all skill levels, but especially if you're just starting, I think it's really, really powerful. And we also have a deal with Skrillus, which is basically this one's cool. It's like virtual golf lessons, but like live, right? So think about Golf Digest is like they have this incredible catalog of content that they've developed specifically for golfers of different level to help you improve your game. Skrillus is like you've taken videos, you sent them to a teaching pro, and then you guys are like doing like a live session together, and they can kind of help you improve your game that way, which is super cool.
That's nice.
And then one other one, which I love, is we have a great deal with Arcos, which is basically this data platform which tracks every single one of your shots and lets you know like what you need to work on. And this one's great because you get like $200 worth of these sensors for free, and that's just for being a Links member, right? So it's like it's just more value and really help you to hone in your game. One other thing that's really interesting about our membership, which I think you'll appreciate, is that like so 1/3 of of our members have been playing golf for over 20 years, right? So like, and our average age is under 40, right? So they've been playing golf for a long time.
Yeah.
But then 1/3 of our golfers have taken up golf in the last 3 years. So it's like an even split of new golfers, people who've been playing forever, and then people in between. So I think there's a lot of folks that this project has also helped onboard into the game, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's such like a great kind of nucleus for your community, right? Where you have people who've been in this for a long time, dedicated, still love it, right? And then you've got the newbies who are, bring a lot of that fresh energy, right?
Yeah,
and that's it's such a great way to have those. It's great that you have a community where those people can be equals, right? That they can join and be there together. So that's pretty great. I'd love to ask you, Jim, a little bit more about how the legal structure worked for this, because I think a lot of people are still a little bit hazy on how DAOs can be set up and have members who vote, and how that works in terms of are they securities? What is all that? So maybe you can tell us a little bit about that part, getting this off the ground so quick, and if you've had to make any adjustments to that over time, or a little bit more about the background there.
Yeah. So, I mean, we, in that first 2-week period, and then, in the next, like probably month to 2 months after the mint, we spent an enormous amount of time with lawyers and compliance on just making sure we were setting things up, and then operating things in like, in a way that we're supposed to be, right? That we're being like totally compliant. I think that's one of the reasons we were really focused on this too, is like sustainability of the project, right? And like you can't get caught up in like the FOMO of a bull market and say we're going to go rock out, we're going to do this, yada yada yada, and just hope it works out for the best. If you want this thing to be providing value to your NFT holders and your members for like for years and years and years and decades to come, you got to make sure you're set up with like a really sustainable structure.
Of course.
So the way that we did it is especially considering we're buying real estate. So in all of the advice that we got, you can't like an anonymous group of folks can't be buying real estate. Well, nobody's going to sell in real estate, right? And they're certainly not going to be able to get financing for property and things like this. So we had to set up a business entity. And that business entity is basically the one that's going out and purchasing real estate and things of this nature. The other thing is you have that securities question. In order to have somebody in the US buy into a project and be able to generate returns or profits for that project, they need to be KYC'd and know your customer, right? You can't be done anonymously. So this is the way that we structured the DAO. Is the DAO has a massive voice in the project. Think about the DAO as like the most high profile and high powered advisory board that exists. And they're advising basically the business entity what they want, what they should be looking for. Should they buy that golf course? Should they not buy that golf course? But then it's just the business entity is run like any typical business. So I think we nailed the structure in terms of giving people a huge voice, in terms of making sure we set up for sustainability and we're not breaking any laws, and we're very compliant with securities and things like that, but still being able to allow for a lot of value, a ton of fun, and just again people having a huge opinion on kind of how this thing works.
What's next?
So we are going to launch, and this is very tactical. So we're launching our membership drive for Spey Bay probably next week. I'm going to be out in Scotland on Monday and Tuesday to get the keys of Spey, so to speak.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
Awesome. Man.
Yeah.
That is quite a moment, man. That is very cool.
It'll be
keys
cool.
To the course.
Get the keys to the course. We're going to be having a huge party out there in late July. I think it's going to be the 15th, 16th, and 17th of July. We're going to have a ton of members out. It's going to be really fun. The architect is going to show everybody what they're going to be doing with the redesign. Like, we'll have some pretty cool celebrities out there, part of the membership, influencers, plenty of Scotch, because Spey Bay is also like right in the center of Scotch country, like Scottish Highlands. McKellen is 20 minutes from Spey Bay, so they're not short on really good brown liquor, so we'll be having some of that. And then we're launching a new membership type right now too, to kind of scale the overall membership. It's not as juicy, it's not as valuable as any of our NFT memberships, but we know in order to continue to build this project, we want to have access for our members to 10 of our own owned and operated golf courses by 2030. We need to continue to scale the project and bring on new folks to enhance what we already have in the community, and then provide again scalability and sustainability for the future of the project. So we're launching that new membership type. Team has been working really hard on that for the last 8 or 9 months. And the community is like really behind this and super supportive, and frankly, referring a lot of our new members in the system, which is cool to see. And then, we also want to kind of break into the world of professional golf. So, we have spoken and been speaking to a lot of kind of the largest golf tournament organizations about collaboration and partnership. A bunch of top players about it too. So I think that there should be a lot of news about links in the not too distant future. And I mean, this project, it's so much fun, and the team is extraordinary. We have 15 full-time folks now, and we have 30 community contributors. And then people are coming up with proposals and ideas in the community every single day. But every single one of the full-time folks they were NFT holders and came from the community. And so this thing has changed people's lives for the better in ways that I couldn't even imagine. And for the future, I think we want to keep doing that and impacting people in a positive way as much as we can.
Man, that's awesome. You're making it sound awesome. I got to wait until after the podcast comes out to buy a membership so that people don't think I'm front running it or anything. It happens, man. Listen, you gotta be careful.
It's a good call.
Careful when you got the show, because then I'm just staring at the OpenSea right now, and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good. And I was looking at the IMG course that they have near me, which is in Whistler, Canada, and I was like, ooh, nice to get a little discount for that one, because that's a nice one. So definitely very tempting. Jim, before I let you go, is there anything else you want us to know about Links DAO? Anything else that people should maybe keep in mind now for the next round of membership, or just in general about what you've got here?
I think just check out the project.
Mm.
And if you're a golfer, if you're a golfer in Web3 or you're a golfer outside of Web3, like this thing is massively valuable and hugely different than anything else that exists. Like check out the project, see if you like it, see if it's for you. Come to the Discord because we have right now NFT holders. So we sold 9,090 NFTs. We have about 5,500 unique NFT wallets. So we'll call that 5,500 members. But we have nearly 30,000 people in our Discord. So like pop into the Links Discord, check it out. If you want to geek out on golf or sports in general, like it's an incredible place to do it with incredible people. And what's nice is because of who we are, because of the project, it's like the vibes are really good. And so come be a part of the community. If you want to buy into the membership, great. If you don't, just come hang out. We'd love to have you because like I said, everybody's welcome.
Awesome. Jim, there's one more thing. At the end of every show or every interview, we play a game called Would You Rather. Okay. And you've played this before, I'm sure, where I give you two options and you tell me which one you would rather. Okay.
Yes.
So would you rather that you can consistently golf a 71 or that your new best friend golfing buddy who calls you all the time to go out is literally your favorite golfer, and you have to tell us who your favorite golfer is, pro golfer?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would,
but you suck, or you don't suck, but like you are at the level you are now, but the pro golfer still loves golfing with you, or they don't care about you, but you can golf 70, you can hit 71 pretty consistently.
I'm gonna take the 71. Screw the
wait. Who's your favorite pro golfer? Who's like your favorite pro golfer? Who is it? Who are you screwing? Who's not? Who do you not?
Okay,
who are you rejecting here?
I'm not rejecting it. It would be great, but I'm just saying 71 every day is pretty good. It might get a little boring, but I'm in.
You'd get their attention. That's the thing, isn't it? You'd get their attention.
You get right. That's it. Yes. As a much worse golfer than they are. Jordan Spieth, I'd say, is probably my favorite golfer. We're also we're represented by Endeavor and Spieth's manager. And so I've gotten to learn a lot more about Jordan and how just good a dude he is. And so I'd say, Jordan Spieth would be my guy, but sorry, Jordan, I'd rather shoot 71 every day.
I feel like he would be totally fine with that if you had to tell him that you had to make that decision. Okay, the next one is actually a different game. So I'm going off script here or off format. And have you ever played Do, Dump, or Date?
Yes.
Versions of it.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
And we're going to do this, but we're going to do it with 3 movies. Okay, not people.
Okay.
So three movies: Do, Dump, or Date, Caddyshack, Happy Gilmore, or The Legend of Bagger Vance.
Oh man, those are all great movies, man. Those are all
or Date.
Great movies. Okay, so it was Bagger Vance, it was Caddyshack,
and Happy Gilmore, which was filmed near me at Furry Creek, which is in between, on the way between Vancouver and Whistler, Canada. It's filmed out here.
Okay.
All the scenes, all the other scenes are shot in Vancouver.
Okay, got it. I would do Happy Gilmore. I would dump Bagger Vance because it's not funny enough. Even though I love it. It's a great movie, but and I would date Caddyshack because
nice.
I mean, it's epic. Caddyshack is, Caddyshack is eternal in the golfer's mind.
Oh yeah, man. It's such a classic. It's such a loaded lineup of stars as well.
Yes.
And I hadn't seen Caddyshack until like I was like maybe in my late 20s. And the part where I forget what the villain's name is, but they're waiting like at the last putt and he's like, well, we're waiting, like that part. I laughed so freaking hard at that scene because that guy, I forget the guy's name, but he's such a fantastic actor as the villain, and it made me laugh so much, man. That movie is fantastic. So
yeah,
great choice to date.
And another all-time great Links Golf Club member is Bill Murray. So
of course,
yes, of course, which makes a lot of sense. And so I'm sticking with Caddyshack.
Ted Knight is the guy who played the villain. I just looked him up. Anyways, Jim, thank you so much for your time, man. Great to learn a lot more about Links, and congratulations on all the success. And we'll keep following you here from the first minute.
All right, thanks, man. Really appreciate the time. It was a blast.
Dude, thank you.